Hello, everyone. You join me here as I throw a fit, as you could tell. We're going to get into why that is. But first, I want to talk about some of the highlights that we're going to see here at round number 5 of Tri C. So, we're going to get right into it right here. We see an incredible block pass that I'm going to take advantage of. We're going to move up a few places there, and he tries to fight back, but we're able to stabilize ourselves right in front. Once again, turn 1 was a spectacular overtaking and defending zone. And you can see here getting it all wrong in the brakes, and I take advantage of that, and I get a nice shove from the person in the back right here, making sure to bend my bumper, but whatever. We hold it down. We're holding down the fort. But here we see that the fort is not being held down correctly. We almost are murdered by a sprocket guard right there. Unfortunately, the one who was murdered is this little fella right here. So it's all good things for us. And we're going to step right into the qualifying session right here. We're going to talk through it. We're going to see what we could have done as we see a person just crossing the street right there, nonchalant. But we're going to get right into it. We're not going to let that distract us as we get a little bit of a break right there. We turn in, position ourselves spectacularly, track it all the way out, and we want to make this as smooth as possible. No sawing at the wheel. We're going to take this all the way out to the curb, kiss this one, ride this one a little bit as well, and we're going to try to go as deep into the braking zone as possible. Maybe could have gone a little bit closer to the apex, but we're going to track it all the way out. We got to trust that we can make it all the way out there. We're not going to lose sight of that curb. And once again, taking these curves really, really well and track it all the way out. Kind of missed that apex a little bit. Doesn't matter. I could have probably tracked it out a little bit longer. We're going to tuck in, make sure we make ourselves nice and slippery, spotting our braking zone in here, and we just drop a wheel. Not ideal, but we track it all the way out. We're still able to get a pretty good lap in right here, but as you can tell, right as the times are about to come up right here, I was about 2/10 off from a podium starting place right here. The good thing is we were able to kind of get ourselves on the inside line. As we can see right there on those highlights, it's pretty dangerous being on the outside line sometimes. We sometimes kind of get forced out. Unfortunately, dropping that wheel, probably lost a tenth or two. And yeah, but we're going to see what we can do getting into the heat race. We have 12 laps to make a win right here. Let's see what we can do. Try to get a good start right here, and it's kind of get caught off a little bit. We're still hanging in there. I'm currently in 6th place. We're going to see what we can do. We still have a little bit of a chance to maybe settle in on the inside here as they fight a little bit, but not able to make a move. But we do have someone flying off the course, and we do benefit from that. So kind of net zero right here, but could have done a better job at the start right here. I'm going to go a little bit defensive right here. I'm not sure if they're going to try to make a move on me. Probably could have just stayed, taken it all the way wide, and I would have stuck a little bit closer to William Wallace right there, the number 625, the factory driver. And you see Rafi getting all out of shape right there, and William is going to actually check back. He was hoping that I was going to be there. If I was, I would have probably been able to just push him forward, and we would have both gotten past Rafi right there. But at the end of the day, a pretty solid lap 1 right here. We're going to just kind of get tucked in. We're going to see if we can just kind of stick with everybody. We're making it, as actually William is going to try to make a move up here. Let's see what we can do. He's going to make a block pass on Rafi, and I'm actually able to benefit from that as Rafi loses all that momentum and he takes that uneven line through there. So we're up into 4th place right now. We're going to see if maybe we can work together and kind of get back up into 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. But Rafi's going to make a move here, sends it way too deep on the brakes, and I actually have our man right here pushing us along as well. Matthew just kind of helping us stay in 4th actually, and he actually gets it. If you're looking at the rear view camera, does not fare well with that section of track at the moment right there. We have Seth kind of in the background right there fighting as well. A good opportunity here to make up some points on Seth. He did not have a good qualifying. We're going to see what we can do in terms of the championship as well, but hopefully we keep it focused and we kind of catch up to William right here. So fast forwarding a bit into lap number 4, I clearly have some work to do, but I'm getting a pretty good line out of this hairpin right here. Once again, fast forwarding to lap 5, you can see just a little bit closer, able to kind of make a little bit of time right there. Ideally getting a bit down more to the apex right there, but fast forwarding into lap number 8, we are in the slipstream. We got 3 laps to go. It is lap number 9. We are officially in the slipstream. We have someone behind us as well, but we want to just make sure that we can stay with William. And if we get to William, just kind of push ourselves a little bit and relieve ourselves from the threat behind, because we want to make it just a fight between me and him for the 3rd place and not anybody else. So just keeping it nice and tidy right here, getting a little bit closer down to the apex, and you can see the amount of time I'm able to make up on him just through that hairpin. But right here through this section of curves, I guess I should have probably let off a little bit and kind of give him a little bit of space as I get all unsteady through there, because I kind of hit him while I was in the air. But coming right here, we're just going to push him along. We're not going to make any crazy moves. I am checking behind me, keeping an eye on Sophia, who's right behind me, who's also doing a really good job keeping up some really good pace. But I'm just hoping right now, as I've been saying, William and I can just kind of push ourselves away, work a little bit together with these last 2 laps that we have. Now, through that section, kind of gains on me a little bit, but with that slipstream, I'm able to kind of haul it back just a little bit. It's not close enough to make a move. He slightly stays a little bit too wide, and it's just not going to work out. I don't want to do a high-risk move like that. I feel like it's not the time to kind of do that. We're going to look for a better opportunity, a better passing opportunity. You can see he kind of carries a bit more speed into that bus stop, but it kind of compromises him on the exit, and I'm able to make a nice move right here, get alongside him into the braking zone, and we're going to see if we can hold that down a little bit. Obviously, I go a little bit narrow, and he's going to have a better line going through there, so I'm going to kind of move a little bit to the side, and he's going to see if he can make a move on me. I kind of try to push him a bit wider, see if I can maybe cut back in as he loses momentum, and I'm trying to get back in there as well, and we do a great job of that. So lap number 11, I know he's probably going to want that position back. It is time to start fighting for that, so I'm going to go defensive, but I don't go as defensive as I expected. But thankfully he goes super deep. I get a push from Sophia, a nice little bend to the bumper, as you can probably tell right there. I got to straighten that out a little bit later before this next race, but whatever. As we get through this little bus stop section right here, through the double right-hander, we're going to try to get as much of a good exit as we can. She's on my slipstream. She's got a good engine, good driver. She's going to stick right on top of me right there. And I kind of carry a bit too much speed into that turn. It kind of compromises my exit. I'm going to go as wide as I possibly can without running into her. Got to watch out for that curve, that crack in the middle of the straight. It kind of forces you in a little bit as she goes through the inside, but once again, we can see that I'm able to carry enough momentum because I stuck it out wide. Now, we know that we didn't leave enough space. We did leave enough space on the inside, so we're going to kind of cover ourselves a little bit more. I get bumped 1, 2, 3 times over out into the track. I am absolutely in rage, throwing my hands up in the air. It is just an absolutely penalizable move, probably, to put that in a politically correct term right there, as you can see. Now, with that, unfortunately, ending in 5th, I am pretty unhappy, as you can tell right here, as I shift my arms around. And actually, you can see as she spins off, and with my hand pointing of frustration, she actually lost her hub. It kind of just fell off the axle. And in my opinion, it fell off the axle a lap too late, because I would have finished 3rd. So, pretty unhappy with that. However, pretty happy with the pace at the end of the day. As you can see, you're about to notice that the audio is not lining up with the video, and it is because, well, actually right here we do have ourselves a nice happy camper, as you can tell, Mr. Raffi, but we kind of moved the audio a little bit advanced or a little bit behind, I can't really remember, from the video to hide some of the profanities, as I was saying. But yeah, pretty frustrating to be doing so good. And as you can tell right there, as I throw my little mini fit right here, as I go talk to Casey to complain about my unhappiness with other drivers and the current situation. But we're not gonna let that get in the way. We have one more race. It is the main race. We are gonna see if maybe instead of getting pushed off, we can stay on the track. Now, as you probably saw in the highlights right here, we're gonna talk about why I was pushed off. Now, I get an absolutely terrible start. Thankfully, I guess everybody else did. I didn't really know what happened there, but you know, let's see what we can do. We are starting on the outside. Let's try to get a better start from that other one that we just saw, and maybe not compromise ourselves that much. We have Cade right in front of us. Very fast driver, another factory driver. We are surrounded by VLR factory drivers. We are in an absolute frenzy right here, as I don't get such a good start, but we're gonna see what we can do. But keep an eye on that 39 right there, just sending it in and sending me off. Cade also gets sent off, but he's able to kind of hang in there a little bit. But as you can tell right now, we are a bit further back from the pack as we started. We are in 9th position. We have Albert behind us, a good friend. We have Matthew right there. I try to make a move, not really gonna work. Actually, that is not Matthew, that is Michael. A little mistake I made right there, as you can tell. Kind of like my start, another mistake, right? So we have almost 3 wide going into that double right-hander. And a quick little note, the number 32 in front of us, he sold us a K8, which I was actually running this weekend. I was actually renting it at the time. I now own it, but I will be releasing a video on the K8 and some of my, maybe we can say struggles, some of my perseverances that I've had throughout it. So coming into lap number 2 right here, fast forwarding into lap number 3, we have gotten a little bit closer to Michael right here. We're going to see if maybe we can line ourselves up for a move. Thankfully, it is the main. We have 20 laps overall. We're going to see if we can line ourselves up right here, go deep into the brakes, and we're able to get through there, still hit that apex, and we're able to track it all the way out. Now, as you might have noticed, we have the number 7 Seth. We have Mr. Seth, our title rival, right in front of us. Now, my worry at the moment, and he's going to make it very, very difficult for me to pass. I know he's been struggling a little bit with the pace this weekend, so my hope is that we just get past him and I'm able to just stay in front of him, and even with the slipstream, he's not able to get close enough to make a move on me. So right here, getting a pretty good run out of the double bus stop right there. I'm going to try to get it on the inside, but as we've seen before many, many times, if you try to go too early on there, we're going to lose momentum, so we're going to tuck right back in. Thankfully, it's still lap 4. We're coming into this start-finish straight to start lap 5. We are right on top of Seth. Now, what I probably should have done was maybe stick behind him on that exit of the double right-hander and maybe carried a bit momentum into that back straight, but we're going to see what we can do here. We're going to try to stick as close as possible as we can to see if maybe we can line ourselves up for a move in that hairpin right there. So coming in really, really close. We actually have a spectacular run. I don't think he's expecting it right there, so we're going to go deep into the brakes right there. He's actually going to try to hold it as much as possible, and I'm able to make a move, and I say, hey, let's work together. Let's get back up into these podium positions. So hopefully he will follow that, and we're going to be able to watch ourselves and get back to the number 39, who actually earlier on in the race, Mr. Matthew Ruth had sent us off. So we're looking right now for a little bit of redemption. We have some incredible pace. Mr. Raffi right here does not have any incredible pace because actually I think his fuel lines was rubbing on the ground, and when your fuel line rubs on the ground it kind of breaks, and then the fuel doesn't go to your engine, it actually just goes to the ground, and not ideal with what you want. Also, another thing that is not ideal that we saw earlier is a sprocket guard about to fly off into your face and slit your throat. Thankfully, we did not get our throat slit because we are going to make a move as soon as possible and get ourselves out of that danger right there, as you can hear it clinking around. Now, we have now redeemed ourselves. We give him the nice little, hey, let's work together a little bit aggressively because I was a bit pissed off at the actions of him in the beginning. But, you know, he's a fair racer. He wasn't doing it maliciously. You know, it's just racing at the end of the day. But we're going to see what we can do. Let's see if him and I can just work together, which we do. With these like 15 laps, I was absolutely pumping in the lap times. I had now had to catch my arch nemesis, Sophia. I had to redeem myself once again as I kill a GoPro right there, actually. I have to redeem myself from the heat race where I had been shoved off. So we had put in some absolutely spectacular laps. We have gone on for about 13 laps, just putting in the pace, staying consistent, and slowly just lapping 1/10 faster, 1/10 faster, 1/10 faster than her, and giving ourselves the opportunity to just kind of make a move on her and get on top of her. So it was actually a really, really good feeling every single time I saw her kind of go through the straight, every single time just counting down how much further I am. We obviously don't have that live timing or the radios, so it's really just visual and kind of counting in your head, you know, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and seeing how much closer I'm getting every single lap and using reference points. And once I got into that slipstream, I knew I was with her, I knew I was on her, I knew I had the pace, and you can actually see right here, right there on the left is me, on the right is her. Yeah, it took me a second actually, but you can see I was just constantly putting in the laps, putting in the laps, putting in the laps. It looks more consistent on hers on the right, but that's because she had a really slow lap, so it kind of skews the graph. You know, that's kind of like what marketing teams do to us as a consumer. You know, they skew the graphs, but I will promise you that I was putting in extremely fast laps, and you can tell every single lap at least 1/10 faster, 2 or 3/10 faster, and I was able to make up a ton of time. So coming into lap number 19, we have 2 laps to go, and we're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna see if we can make a move, but we also have to be super smart about it. We need to be super patient because we know that she can be a little bit aggressive, but we wanna make sure we put ourselves in the best opportunity to make the move and the best time possible. We're kind of on our own right here. It's all about, just me and her. If we do fight too much, we might be at risk of Matthew kind of catching us a little bit later. Now, getting a pretty good run out of here. We're almost side by side. We're gonna see what we can do. But once again, you go too early, you lose that momentum. So we're gonna just stick it in right behind here. Thankfully, we have one more lap to go. We are right on top of her. We're gonna see what we can do. She's tucking in for the slipstream. So am I. I'm gonna see if I can get right on her bumper here. And the key is to get so close to her through here that we lose the least amount of time, not the most amount of time, and we give ourselves the best opportunity to make a move on that hairpin. We're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna see if we can make it. We are getting up pretty close, a little far back. Let's see what we can do through here. She's gonna check up, go super defensive. I'm gonna take the normal racing line so I get enough momentum. I have her just by half a car. We're gonna come in. She's fighting me. We collide. She goes all over the place and spins out. Some would say that was a racing incident, and I would agree. It was an absolute racing incident. Now, is it a coincidence that the racing incident was with the person who had run me off the track? And yes, of course. Now, it just goes to show that we can get some redemption. Unfortunately, not a podium place like we were expecting. I think we had that ability there as we shake hands with Mr. Matthew. And you can see actually right there, Mr. Seth, another place behind me. And really, honestly, if Sophia hadn't come off, I would have been able to finish 2 places in front of Seth instead of just 1 or 2. I think if that's the math, you know what I mean. And it would have made me and allowed me to gain a bit more points right there as I talked to Steve. And he's just telling me, hey, like, we all saw that racing incident. And just kind of having that debrief right there. And just, yeah, kind of describing what happened. But at the end of the day, very happy with my pace. I mean, we're racing against some of the best drivers in the region, some of the best drivers in the nation. And if we're just kind of able to hang on there a little bit with the factory guys, with all their support and everything like that, I think it just goes to show how far we've come. And I don't know, just super happy with that. And I guess that's just more motivation to make that next stepping stone into, maybe a KA next year. And we'll talk a little bit about that in this next video where we'll be releasing our first race ever in a KA. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was an extremely captivating video. I hope that this is probably the best video you've ever watched ever in YouTube. And if it is, I invite you to subscribe and comment, yo, this is like the best video ever in the world. Thank you so much for it, and peace out. See you guys later.